to jump straight into a practice, this deeper sense of being, looking at sort of a practice in awareness in reality for what really we're going to be exploring today, or recognizing awareness, maybe another way of putting it too. So get yourself comfortable in your posture, whether you're sitting or lying down, rolling the shoulders over, going into those 7 points of practice, so feeling your legs underneath you, your hands comfortably in your lap, whatever it is. And let's even just take a couple of those nice big arriving breaths. So just sort of arriving, breathing, just allowing your body just to settle. Appreciate it's nice and early where you are. And even just that idea, could I be 10% more comfortable? And just shuffling yourself about now that allows for the longevity of the practice, that getting yourself really comfortable at the start, or as comfortable as you can do, just allows you to worry less about how the practice goes. And to start, we're going to be going through a bit of a sensation to sensation, so just moving our focus through to the different parts of the body as we've done in the past. That's a very systematic approach, just moving sensation to sensation. And we're going to start with the breath, so just holding some focus on the breath. When I say holding focus, I mean just relaxing and noticing, I guess is a better way of looking at it. You're just watching the breath happen. No sense of control. And from the breath, let's move our focus up into sort of the brow, forehead area. Almost like we could just gently shine a light. And we just become aware of the different sensations of that area. Again, it's not a worry about how much or how little we can feel. Maybe you can already see that there's something responding or aware of the sensations, that the sensations are playing out within this, what we might want to call this field of awareness. That there is this sort of unjudgmental sense of neutralness to it all, that just is aware that the sensations are happening. And so from the forehead, we're going to move to the top of the head. And from the top of the head round to the back of our head. We're not trying to control our experience. We're curious of what rises and falls within our experience. We're just going to let these sensations just happen naturally. And down to between our shoulder blades. And just letting our thoughts happen naturally as well. See ourselves being distracted by thought. Don't need to worry about it being good or bad, just seeing a thought and gently bringing our focus back into the sensations of our body. There's no judgment, no criticism required. It's not going to help your practice in any way. You're just noticing thoughts happen and just gently, almost in the same way that you move from sensation to sensation, you just move from the thought back into the sensation again. And then we come out to the shoulders. And just as we're holding our focus in the shoulders, holding this sense of attention within awareness, I just want you to see if you can notice what is noticing the sensations. Again, this might feel a little confusing, could be quite abrupt. Maybe there's no change. But just noticing the sense of awareness of the sensations. So the sensations are happening and you are aware of them. And down into the elbows. And let that curiosity be there. I know I've used the term information, but just it's like this idea that the elbows are almost communicating with you in some way, just making you aware of the different sensations that are available within it. Not a right or wrong, absolutely some feel more than others. Often we associate them with that, feeling with pain. Just trying to take a much more open, compassionate, curious approach. And from the elbows, it's come down into the wrists. And remember, this deeper sense of being it's not that we're trying to create presence, we're just becoming more comfortable with what is happening right now, all that's happening, even if we're thinking the disturbance of thoughts is keeping us from our practice. It is just letting the thoughts be. Don't need to judge them, don't need to criticize them, don't need to give the thoughts any more importance or relevance than anything else. Maybe we drift off into thought completely unconsciously, and then the moment of awareness happens, that we're aware that we're thinking, and we get to choose not to be engaged. down into our hands and fingertips. Not trying to relax anything or change the experience. And come back to the wrists again and the forearms. And even taking some time just to check into your posture as it shifted and changed as well. Opening your shoulders up, lifting your chin, softening your jaw. Into the elbows. And maybe even now you're beginning to notice those moments where you're just aware of sensations, just maybe fleeting at the moment. Maybe there's a real sense of presence, awareness, as you're just watching the sensations happen. Maybe even in this practice you're feeling a little bit more comfortable with being distracted by thinking. And it's in that sort of spaciousness, that openness, the awareness that peace and contentment really go together. That we're effortlessly resting, yet there's a real sense of alertness and awareness that's there. As we come back to the shoulders, that we're not trying to be anywhere else, just here. This is just practice of being. It may feel boring, pointless. These are all just tricks of the mind. Everything else is more important than you. Everything else needs to be done before you. And so we practice letting those thoughts go and just resting into the sensations of the body. As we come down to the shoulder blades and down into the middle of our chest, along the spine, so the mid-back area. As we watch the mind move us from sensations into thoughts, and without disturbance, without any sense of emotion, we just notice the movement into thoughts and just come back to the body, almost like that gentle wave rolls up the beach, just effortless, further down into the hips again. Or into the hips, I should say, not again. As we're beginning to move through the body in this way, just noticing if there's any sense of urgency that's there. Are you looking to get through this practice, to get on to the next part of your day? Or are you just letting yourself be here? With no next, no requirement for something else. Often sometimes we feel like we're just going to try and get through the meditation because we know it's good for us. But it doesn't help. We're not really learning from the experience. We're just seeing meditation as a consumable. From the hips, let's come down around the back of our legs to our knees. And from our knees down into our ankles. Around the heels and arches. And even if we feel those urges, those wants to move away, to get through, setting up of what's to come. See if you can notice how that happens within awareness, that the urges, the thoughts, in the same way, just resting comfortably back into the body again, back into the sensations, the toes. As we come back to the ankles. And back up to the front of our knees, along our shins. And remembering there's no comparisons. There's nothing you can compare this practice with, for you are only present now. Even the meditation you did last week or the week before, you were present then. But this presence is incomparable. You don't need to worry how well you're going. At the moment, we're just resting and noticing. Coming back to our hips. And the hips round to our stomach. And round to the front of our heart. Right now, this is a very natural, very uncreated sense of being. That you've made no effort to do anything other than rest and notice, become comfortable with a distracted mind, become comfortable with not being the greatest meditator in the world. Softening some of the urges to just get through these types of things. And simply just choosing to give space for what is here. As we move our attention to our throat, and our jaw and chin, lips and teeth, the mouth, nose. Just back to our breath again, just noticing the breath, noticing our body breathing. It's very natural, harmonious at times. Sense of being present and aware. This deeper sense of being. That this practice just allows us to, I guess, to choose to create that space in our life, giving ourselves some space to cope with craziness, people, choices. It all starts just by taking those moments, just relishing in nothing, emptiness, sense of nothingness that's there. No requirement to do anything in particular. Just a few moments. just a few moments can help. Just a few moments now can help thousands of other moments in the future. Giving that space to decisions and choices. And the last thing I want to do, we're going to come into the whole body, so from head all the way down to your toes. I want you to, almost like you could, like you're scanning from your head all the way down. I want you to just start there, just almost like you could scan all the way down, from head all the way down to your toes. Just watching this movement, this awareness just coming all the way down through your body, all the way down to your toes, and then just letting it come back again all the way up to the top of your head. I just want you just to let it do that just for the next minute or so, just allowing this sort of sense of awareness, just like an X-ray machine, just moving its way down. Not that you're seeing the bones and stuff, you're just letting this awareness just drift through the body slowly all the way down to the toes and drifting back again. As you're doing that, just contemplating on this one question. What is it that is aware of that that's scanning? What is it that's aware of that, that's scanning through the body? Just taking a gentle look into it. Curious about just letting that scanning happen from head all the way down to your toes, and just noticing, aware of that which is doing the scanning. There's no need to question it, doubt it, get frustrated by it. Just curious. And it's not that we're trying to separate sensations from anything else. It just happens within that field of awareness. There is this sense of movement that happens through the body, this interest, this curiosity that happens within this same field of awareness. We all have it. And then just letting go of the thoughts, letting go of the body's sensations, and just coming back to the breath again. Just noticing that we're breathing. Watching the movement of our breath. Noticing the sensations of breath. And then in your own time, you're just allowing your eyes to open. And again, just as you're opening your eyes, you're coming into all of those senses, the smell, the taste, the feelings of the body, the sounds, what you can see. And again, just that field of awareness hasn't changed. You're just moving it internally to a bit more externally, that actually all of these senses are just happening within that same sense, that same curiosity, that just naturally aware of things. And it's that deeper sense of presence that happens as we just let the awareness happen naturally. Just naturally happens. Not trying to strive to create a sensation or an experience or a state, just naturally resting. Thoughts can happen, emotions can happen, colours, change, sounds, all movements.